Ron Searle is delighted with sixth place in race one, but he traded paint with Bob Tweedy, and we might see more of that this time. Paul Pickett enjoying the power of the Ford, and Dwayne Bewley has returned from the land of the long white cloud. Brad Jones has confirmed Oran Park is Audi territory, winning race one. The Greenfield Mowers team only just managing to get Cameron McLean here in time for the start of race two. There's plenty to contemplate for the fans. Which of the 10 manufacturers would cross the line first? Can Jim Richards win for Volvo? Would it be Brad Jones's day, or could Cameron McConville break through to claim his third win of the championship? As the field make their way around the Oran Park layout, let's take a look at how they line up for the second race of the day. In race one, it was an all-Audi front row. Jim Richards spoiling the party this time around. Both Jones and Richards sneaking into the 42s. Also doing a sub-43 time, Cameron McConville. Cameron McLean on the outside of him. Row 3, and it's Mark Adderton in the Honda, Trevor Schumack in the BMW, Ron Searle and Bob Tweedy make up the fourth row of the grid. Completing the top 10, a brilliant qualifying performance from Craig Bradshaw and Paul Pickett in the Ford Mondeo. Pickett's teammate Peter Hills and Dwayne Bewley make up the sixth row of the grid. But a non-starter in this one, the winner of the Independence Cup in race one, John Henderson, the car suffering engine problems. On the eighth row of the grid, it's David Auger in the Alpha, Tony Newman in the Peugeot. Row 9, Claude Elias and Carlos Rolfo. And completing the field, Troy Searle in a BMW. Conditions at the circuit a little bit cooler for the second race of the day, and a bit of a chilly breeze blowing. The rev starting to rise from Cameron McLean's BMW. Brad Jones, can he make it 2 from 2 today?
Well, he'll be definitely hoping he can get some points on the board and get ahead of his teammate. Jim Richards is slow off the line again.
McConville catapults out of there. Yeah, that a real shame for Jimmy. Another good start from Trevor Schumack in the McDougall Motors BMW. Look at McConville trying to get past McLean again. McLean caught wide this time.
Oh, another touch.
He's not afraid to mix it today, Cameron McLean, is he? As this huge field streak through the left-hander at the end of the main straight. Brad Jones again settles into the lead. Look at McConville and McLean battling. McLean getting the upper hand. So McLean settles into second place, and that team have done a terrific job to get that car ready for this second race, only just making it.
Yeah, a lot of work to do after that incident in the first one, and obviously very disappointed to have it did not finish. But this time, obviously, he's shown that he's got the thing going very, very well, got a great start, and he'll be trying to get back at Brad Jones after that first race.
Terrific shot as the field streamed their way through the dogleg. Now up onto the front straight. Look at Bradshaw sideways, almost clipping the wall. And in fact, someone clipping the wall was Trevor Schumack. That's a shame. The tyre obviously rubbing on the bodywork, so we'll have to see how he progresses through things. And in fact, it looks like the car, yes, in fact, pulling off towards the end of the main straight. That's hard luck.
Very hard luck. Obviously, done a lot of damage to the back of the car somewhere, the tyre rubbing. And he'll be having to make a trip to the pits, I'm sure.
So Brad Jones, your leader, from Cameron McLean, Audi, BMW, Audi, Volvo. Jim Richards currently in fourth place and running second in the Independence Cup. A great start from Mark Adderton. You may recall he was given a drive-through penalty in race one, and he's out to make amends for that in race two.
Absolutely. The car is actually going very good. Mark's driving exceptionally well. I tell you what, I can't wait to see that Volvo out in front at some stage, because I don't reckon they're going to touch him.
And Jimmy's getting close too, isn't he? Look at it right on the rev limiter in the S40. Hard on the brakes, a good three-way dice here. And that's great for Brad Jones, because while they're continuing to battle away, Jones is making a couple of car links on them.
Well, it gives him a bit of a breather. He can sort of back off the pace a little bit, save those tyres, and if he does that, and if he needs to later in the race, he can put the pressure back on. So at the moment, we're looking at the back of the Greenfield Mowers BMW, and he's got one Audi all over the back of him with a Volvo not far behind. Jimmy looking at the battle ahead, hoping he can get past.
Let's recap the positions for you. Brad Jones, your leader, from Cameron McLean in the Greenfield Mowers BMW. The second of the Audi Sport Quattros in the hands of Cameron McLean in third, and in fourth place, Jim Richards. A replay of the start from the Honda Accord of Mark Adderton. He gets away to a ripper. So too Trevor Schumack. Craig Bradshaw getting away to a blinder. There he is on the left-hand side. He's moving up to sixth place in the car that Tony Longhurst campaigned to victory in the Australian Super Touring Championship in 1994. But Adderton hustling his way through.
Well, I think he just decided, I'm going to follow Jim no matter what, and he did that in car now with Cameron McLean. Off the line, we'll see what happens here. Beautiful start. Just the revs were absolutely perfect, and away he went.
An interesting point to make to the viewers as we watch a couple of replays of the start. It's just so tricky. As a driver, you've really got to keep on the rev limiter. There's the contact between McLean and McConville. And McLean just manages to hang on to the upper hand. We'll take a look at a start, in fact, from Troy Searle's car.
Oh, too low. See, nearly stalled it. Only a couple of thousand revs. And these cars don't quite have the torque to pull away from the low revs, so you've got to keep them right up there. 8.5 on the rev limiter. and you don't want them to drop below like 7,000, otherwise they just die.
And you've got to slip the clutch really gingerly, don't you?
All the cars are different. The Audi's very, very different. You've got to slip the clutch. With the Quattro, you don't get any wheel spin, so you've got to keep the revs up, use the clutch to slip it away. Obviously, the BMW can get a lot of wheel spin, and obviously we've seen Jim Richards in the Volvo get a lot of front wheel spin.
Well, here's the McDougall Motors entry of Trevor Schumack, the competition manager for Michelin Tyres. Hard luck for him. He had a terrific race in race 1, finishing in 5th place. Now, this is the tyre dramas we saw. He clipped the wall coming up onto the main straight out of Ricaro's speed line. And the team working frantically to try and fix this.
Frantically, you can see the bodywork damage, and it looks like they might have a bit of hub damage as well, so they're going to have to fix that before they can get the wheel back on and get him out there.
Back aboard with Jim Richards in the works, Volvo S40 into Icy Coffee Corner, and closing up a bit on McConville. Sideways for Cameron McLean, currently sitting in 2nd place. McConville 3rd, Jimmy Richards 4th. Your leader is Brad Jones. A terrific shot out the back of the BMW. Watch how McConville really closes here.
Certainly does. It's a very important part of the circuit that you need a good run onto the straight. Oh, McConville. That's about the 2nd or 3rd time he's hit that wall. He really likes giving it everything he's got.
Certainly does. Another quick lap from Brad Jones, so he's not hanging around. Jimmy again, a different line on the entry to this left-hander. Look at him. Nice and tight up in behind McConville. The BMW of McLean, I've got to say, is looking twitchy, but I think that's because he's trying so hard.
And he is. He's not using up the tyres either. He's keeping that gap behind Brad Jones, not losing it at all, and these guys aren't able to get past him. So they've got the car set up really well to his liking. He's driving it hard. It looks out of control, but he's really just got complete control of it and driving exceptionally well. There, McConville trying to dive up the inside. Not going to happen this time. McLean's got it just where he wants it. This time, very, very close. McConville will be looking down the inside into turn 1. Will he be able to outbrake him? I think Cameron will cover his line. No!
McConville up the inside. McLean had the legs, but McConville died down and contacting in between those two. Jimmy's through now.
The Volvo took advantage of that.
Yeah, thank you very much. And he's through. McConville starting to fight back with Jim. And McConville gets the upper hand. So Jim settles back into 3rd. Now Audi, Volvo, BMW. Jones from McConville. Jim Richards in 3rd place and McLean in 4th.
McLean didn't want to give in going into turn 1. He was a little bit wide. You could see McConville was very, very close that time coming down the straight, and he was in perfect position to make a move.
Flash of flame from the Volvo S40. On board with Adam Kaplan in the Hunter Holden Primera, and trying to dive down the inside of Tony Newman. A touch between the two. Newman gets spun around. Oh, and a good piece of evasive action from Troy Searle.
That was very close. I wouldn't have liked to have been Tony Newman sitting there watching that come around the corner.
So Searle now starting to close up on the back of Dwayne Bewley. Great to have him back in the Australian Championship in the Peugeot 405. And those two are tapped. And no love lost between him. Searle forces his way past.
We've got action aplenty here. These guys working extremely hard. They say if the guys at the front can do it, we can do it too. And the action just doesn't stop.
Who said it's not exciting in the Independence Cup? That is not the case at all. Down into Ricaro's speed line. Brad Jones, your leader. This is the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. McConville from Richards and McLean. And McLean staying in touch with them, but gee, they get close to that wall.
Certainly do. Here's in-car with Adam Kaplan now. He dives down the inside. Oh! Find another gear. Down he goes. Accelerates away. And here's that in-car with Peter Hills as he sees that from another view. Wow.
Let's be honest, Peter Hills has got 9 lives, hasn't he? He just managed to avoid that altercation with Tony Newman at Calder Park, and very lucky to emerge unscathed from that one.
He seems to be always in the right place at the wrong time, doesn't he?
Nonetheless, a good piece of driving. Speaking of good driving, Brad Jones out in front doing a terrific job. Cameron McConville in 2nd place, just getting around one of the lap competitors, Carlos Rolfo, in the BBX BMW, the car that Jeff Brabham drove to 2nd place in the 95 Championship and campaigned in the likes of Wayne Wakefield's hands and Stephen Johnson's hands last season. McLean desperately trying to stay in touch in the car that Paul Morris drove to victory last season. This is a man, a picture of concentration. Kim Jones, the team manager of the Audi Sport team, watching his boys in action, and I dare say keeping a close eye on the progress of that Volvo.
He certainly will be. He can see that Jimmy's going extremely quick, and one mistake by Cameron and he's going to be in the gap and grabbing 2nd spot. I'm just really impressed with the speed of the Volvo this weekend. It's not dropping off the pace. It's keeping the pace of these other cars, especially like the likes of the Audi, which have always gone so very, very well here at Oran Park.
Well, the pit window is open, so pit stops will be starting shortly. Have a go at this. These two have no love lost between McLean and Elias. You recall that altercation in the first race of the day. McLean diving down the inside of him, up onto Ricaro's speed line, and none too pleased with Elias still.
He's still not happy about that at all. I can...
He's lost a lot of time to Jimmy. That's the reason why. You can see in the foreground how far in front Jim Richards got. That's going to create a lot of extra work for McLean. And here's our first pit stop competitor, Tony Newman, in the pits in the Peugeot 406. Timer away. The team swamp on the car. Paul Grimm, the team manager, overseeing things. Just changing the 2 front tyres, obviously a front-wheel drive car. That's the mandatory minimum number of tyres they need to change. A fresh set of rubber for him. 14 seconds. These privateers or independents have been working very hard at improving their pit stop times though, Murph.
That's very important. They realise the importance. Look at the damage on the front of Rolfo's car. But they realise they have to get a good pit stop. They can gain or lose places, so many of them as well. So they realise that this is an integral part of the championship now, and you've got to get it right.
Rolfo's first drive in the Australian Super Touring Championship this weekend, and you can see the car sporting a lot of damage courtesy of a crash in qualifying. He had a coming together with Milton Leslight in the Toyota Carina. And the team have done a terrific job to make sure this car is back ready to race. Their first pit stop, so things probably not running exactly to plan. They've got a bit of work to do to iron out a nice, clean pit stop. Looks as though they're changing all 4 tyres.
A la Cameron McLean at Oran Park. Don't know if this is such a great idea, but the guy's obviously not attuned to the strategy just as yet. Hopefully by the next round they'll be a bit quicker at the pit stop.
46-second stop. That is a long stop. Troy Searle now in the Roadchill Express BMW, hard under brakes. And look at these two. They're at it again. He and Dwayne Bewley, the New Zealander, working towards the dip, and Bewley getting the upper hand this time around.
Great to see Dwayne back in a car in the championship. Obviously, we remember him from Bathurst last year, pushing that car across the line in a mammoth effort. So, back in the championship, obviously struggling for a bit of finance, but doing a great job at the moment.
And sponsors or potential sponsors could do far worse than Dwayne Bewley. A terrific effort, as you mentioned, at the mountain, an unforgettable moment, and he's doing a great job in the championship.
Absolutely. This car's a couple of years old. It's been campaigned by a number of runners, including Mark Adderton. And Troy Searle now chasing the back of that Peugeot. He wanted to latch on again and see if he can make another move on Dwayne, hopefully a little bit cleaner this time.
Searle proved on Friday in practice that he's no slouch either, setting the 6th fastest time. And because of his religious beliefs, he's not able to compete in qualifying. That means he starts each race off the back of the grid. But gee, he's doing a terrific job to fight his way back forward. Paul Pickett here. More battles going on in the Independence Cup, and he and Bob Tweedy are at it again.
These two seem to have battles continuously as Pickett dives down the inside of the Vectra this time and gets the move. Tweedy giving a lot of room. I think he's heading for the pits.
Indeed, he is. Indicator on. You've got to love the sound of that awesome sounding V6 as Pickett goes across the line to put another lap down. Tweedy now will have to maintain 60 k's an hour as he comes down for his pit stop.
Certainly will. In car now with Jimmy Richards in the Volvo. See if he heads for the pits. No, not this time. Down the straight. As you can see, Cameron McConville just ahead of him. Pulled out a little bit of a gap on the Volvo, and that's probably because of the traffic, I would say, because he was a lot closer before.
Our laser trap just at the end of the main straight showing 209 kilometres an hour for the Volvo, so the Volvo showing a really good turn of speed. And Brad Jones trying to get around Carlos Rolfo. This has really closed things up between he and McConville. David Auger in there as well. Auger getting out of the way very smartly in the Alpha 155, but things hotting up at the front of the field.
Well, Rolfo going very, very slow for his pit stop, and he got very much in the way of Brad Jones. Jones lost a lot of time, allowing his teammate to catch right up.
Jim Richards exiting Ricardo's speed line up onto the front straight, and a couple of car lengths between himself and Cameron McConville, who currently sits in second place. It is Audi Sport Quattro from Audi Sport Quattro Jones from McLean. Jim Richards currently sitting in third place, and a little bit further adrift, Cameron McLean making up time. We'll take a break here from Oran Park. Whatever you do, don't leave us. When we return, our leaders will make their pit stops. Welcome back to Oran Park. You're joining us through the second race of the day for round 2 of the Australian Super Touring Championship. You're watching Mark Adderton in the Attitude Clothing Honda Accord, doing a great job, currently running in 5th place.
Yeah, well, obviously after the disappointment of the first race, after Mark had to make a drive-through penalty after creeping the start, He's now doing a great job running in 5th place in the Honda, and this car has been improving out of sight in the last couple of races.
Sure has. The only front-wheel drive car, in fact, to have won a race in the Australian Super Touring Championship. Stephen Richards taking a win in the 96 round at Winton, and Addison doing a terrific job with the car at the moment. You've really got to take your hat off to Nigel Barclay and the whole team. It's been bedlam down there in the pits today because they're sharing the equipment with Adam Kaplan and Dwayne Bewley in the Peugeot. So just how busy has it been?
It's gone very well. We got a new sponsor during the week who gave us some pit equipment and work quit, and it was great guns. We had 3 different wheel nut sizes, so we've been changing sockets. They had their own team of mechanics, but it was great. All the guys did good.
Bedlam's the word. 3 different wheel nut sizes, so they've been changing the sockets. They've been very busy down there. I think Mark Adderton's still to actually come in for his pit stop too, so they've got another one to go.
Pretty busy here too. Adam Kaplan in the Hunter Holden Primera, all over the back of Paul Pickett, and making good inroads is Adam Kaplan. His first race in the Australian Super Touring Championship, the car that Stephen Richards drove last year, and really has had minimal time to prepare the car.
I think half the field's been driven by Stephen Richards out there. As he comes up alongside the Mondeo of Pickett, who might be heading for the pits. Yes, he certainly is. And Kaplan, who has been struggling with this car and getting used to it. Obviously, his first time in a front-wheel drive car such as this, and he has been struggling, but he's getting the grips with it now and improving out of sight.
Yeah, great step up for Kaplan, a former open-wheeler competitor in Formula Holden and Formula 2. You're watching Cameron McLean making his way through the pits here at Oran Park. Craig Bradshaw in for his pit stop as well. And watch the slick Greenfield Mowers team go to work. They're not changing all 4 tyres on this occasion. John McLean at the front of the car, bringing Cameron to a halt. The team changing the tyres down the left-hand side of the car, because the right-hand side of the car, I should say, because the car constantly turns left here at Oran Park.
These are the 2 tyres that do all the work, so they're the ones that want to change. And what a stop! Fantastic by the Greenfield Mowers team.
Up too out of the pit lane. A slick stop from the Greenfield Mowers team. They have really improved around 18 seconds from memory at Calder Park. That's 5 seconds better here at Oran.
And also, being at the end of the pit lane like that, you can see he just stood on the gas, smoked them up, and got out of there as quick as he possibly could. If he wanted to get past Elias there as quick as possible as well after the altercations that he's had with him today.
Now, we're going to have to keep an eye on track positions here. Now, here are our leaders. So, McLean hasn't been put a lap down, but by G is not far in front of Brad Jones at the moment. So, Jones, your leader. Coming up on the back of Adam Kaplan, tucked in behind Jones is Cameron McConville, his teammate, and Jim Richards not too far adrift, up and over the dogleg. Gee, it's fast through there, and they really get some attitude.
Very, very fast. Extremely hard part of the circuit to get right also. As we look at Jim Richards now, these guys can't be far away from coming into the pits.
In fact, Bradley looking like he might go, no, not this time around. So any time now, they must be ready for a pit stop. We'll keep an eye on the Audi team. Here's McLean, not too far in front of them. And this is Ron Searle just in front of him in the TranStar Express Phoenix Motorsport Toyota Camry. Oh!
Get out of the way!
McLean desperate to try and get past, and there was just no room there. McLean had to force his way through.
He is having a shocker today, isn't he, with this traffic?
A day that McLean would rather forget, I think, but he's not giving up, though, which is a good thing. Richards in 3rd place there in the Volvo S40, and really starting to close on Cameron McConville.
Certainly is. It's very hard for these guys who are getting lapped. I mean, it's very difficult as we look at George Shepherd there talking to Jim Richards, who I'm certain will be making his stop very, very quickly. Very, very soon, I should say.
And
maybe this
Jones.
time, Brad Jones, and Jim Richards stays out. He's chasing Cameron McConville. Jones comes in. This will be a quick stop. Obviously, you've got to be very careful of the 60k limit. You don't want to go over it. As he makes his way down, he'll have a reading on his dash that says 60 k's. He'll know that he can't go over that.
Now, who won the pit stop battle at Calder Park? It was Cameron McConville in the Audi Sport team. The team swamp on team leader Brad Jones's car this time around. The stopwatch is ticking. Watch this. Look how slick this team is. Revs start to rise. The car drops off the jacks, 12 seconds. That is a lightning stop.
What a stop. Matt House, Chris Clark on the front wheel, doing a sensational job. These guys are just practiced to perfection, and it looks sensational.
As I was saying before, at Calder Park, McConville got a 2-second advantage of it now. Look at this. This is going to be a real race in the pits, folks. McConville just in the foreground there. Jimmy Richards right in behind him. 60 k's an hour down through pit lane, and these 2 pit bays are very close to one another. So keep an eye on this. This is going to be a really good battle.
You can't get any closer than this. Jimmy files in first. The Volvo guys, I'm sure, are going to be exceptionally fast. They won't want to make a mistake like they did it at Calder. And who's going to get out? Who's going to get out first here? A race
Front tyres for Jim Richards' car and tyres down the right-hand side of McConville's. Rev starting to rise on McConville's car, both coming off the jacks. Nothing in it, almost a dead heat. Look at that, McConville, a slight advantage, but both of them race out of the pits together. That was terrific.
An absolute dead heat there. Who's going to have the advantage here? The Volvo, obviously, with cold tyres on the front. The Audi with the Quattro. Here's McLean. He didn't get in front of these guys, but he's not far behind.
So the slick stop from the Greenfield Mowers team has paid dividends for McLean. You'll remember he was a little bit further in behind Jimmy Richards before he stopped. So he's made up a bit of ground, but you've got to take your hat off to Bradley Jones. He's come through a 12-second stop, almost a second quicker than Jim and McConville.
Very, very fast. The Audi team extremely slick. The Volvo team doing a great job this time.
But I'm wondering what, Murph, was the difference in the pit stops between McConville and Brad Jones. Let's in fact go down to the pits to Kim Jones and see if we can find out.
We had a bit of a problem because Cameron's hub was damaged in the incident in the first couple of laps, so the boys had a bit of a hard time, but they nailed it in Bradley's, and they did 11.1 second stop, which is pretty good considering Formula 1 do it in about 9.
Well, it was a very good stop by the team to change Brad Jones's wheels in 11.1 seconds. Sensational as Mark Anderton waves Jim Richards through, this time getting out of the way nice and cleanly.
Jimmy getting sideways too, plenty of attitude from the Volvo. McLean not too far in behind Anderton either, so watch for him making his way through the field. Sporting a bit of bodywork damage, that is Ron Searle in the TransStar Express Toyota Camry. His second race meeting. He had a bit of dramas at Calder Park, but doing a great job here at the moment and running in 7th place.
Camry's going extremely well today, and Ron getting used to this car also. I mean, a lot of these guys driving these cars for the first or second time and on these new circuits as well. Here he comes into the pits, I think, with the indicator on.
Ron, of course, a former open-wheeler driver, just tucking in behind Milton Leslie there. The two Toyotas filing into the pits, a Carina and a Camry. And Searle, a former campaigner in Formula Ford and in Formula Holden, like Adam Kaplan, making the step up to Super Touring. Down the front straight once again. Now Paul Pickett has got the upper hand over the boss, but again he locks up the front wheels. He did the same thing in the first race of the day. This team, we've spoken to the team manager in between races. Paul has relegated or lost a place there. Peter Hill's getting one further forward, but the team have struggled with a bit of handling problems this weekend.
Yeah, and these cars, very, very difficult to get right, the front-wheel drive cars, but the guy's doing a great job out there. I think you give him a lot of credit for that. As we see Jones now coming up behind them to put another lap down, and he's got a gap that the team produced for him after that wickedly fast pit stop. He's coming up behind the Mondeos, want to get past nice and clean to make sure the gap doesn't get reduced too much to his teammate Cameron McConville. Brad doing a great job this weekend, really was in control right from the start.
All the teams have upped the ante in the pit stop stakes, even Volvo 5 seconds better than Calder Park.
I think the boys we're brilliant, I couldn't say anymore. We're as good as Audi, and we're going to show everybody today, hopefully, that we are better than Audi in all ways. Yeah, on the track and on the pits, and let's go for it.
Well, Rusty, I think you could say John Cotter was pretty pleased with that. And look at the Volvo. He's caught up that gap, made up the gap that Cameron McConville got over him in the pit stop when he got out of the pits, which was only a couple of seconds, and the Volvo has caught up. I've got to keep reiterating that this car is really showing a turn of speed, and I can't wait to see it at Phillip Island in a few weeks' time. I think it's going to be something to really, really look at.
You have got that 100% right, and Jimmy just relishing the drive at the moment and how well the car is performing. Look at him here, closing in on Cameron McConville. At the moment, Brad Jones, your leader, McConville in second. You can see him just through the front windscreen of Jim's car, and Jim having a look. Can he do it? He can't quite get there, and a bit of lap traffic to contend with as well, one of the Ford Mondeos. But this car performing superbly, and you've got to love the sound of that awesome 5-cylinder.
It's got that unique squeal to it that only a Volvo's got, and it just sounds superb. But the performance of the car has just been wonderful this weekend. Jimmy's got to be so pleased with it. And, you know, as we look at that, the gap's closed to Brad Jones. McConville's caught up on the last lap, though, so I think he's probably slowed up.
I think we're in for a formation finish here, most definitely. Lights ablaze for the Audi Sport team. Checkered flag at the ready, and Brad Jones 2 from 2 for him today. He'll take victory and the round win. McConville second place, Jimmy Richards third, and rounding out the top four was Cameron McConville. Second in the Independence Cup would be Mark Anderton. We'll wait and see him come across the line shortly, but you saw the hand there of Brad Jones. He's pleased. There's McLean coming across the line. He lost a bit of time in a day that was, well, not really the best for him.
No, I think he deserved a little bit better than that. Getting caught up with the lap traffic a lot, and it cost him a lot of time. So pretty disappointing for him, but all round, Audi got to be very, very happy.
Here's Mark Adderton coming up towards the checkered flag. A brilliant performance from him. He was penalised in the first race of the day, but he came out all guns blazing in the second one and grabbed second place also in the Independence Cup for the second race of the day. Checking the BOC Gases race score, Brad Jones, your winner, 2 from 2. Cameron McConville second, Jim Richards third, then McLean and Adderton complete the top 5. 6 through 10 was Ron Searle in the Toyota Camry, a great day. Adam Kaplan 7th, Hills 8th, Bob 29th, and Dwayne Bewley a well-deserved 10th. We'll be back right after the break to wrap things up here from Oran Park. Welcome back to Oran Park, where it's champagne time on the victory dais. Brad Jones and Cameron McConville enjoying the fruits of today's efforts with the Audi team. Let's see where that leaves the Drivers' Championship standings, and the two teammates are top of the table. McConville and Jones equal leaders after 2 rounds on 54 points. 16 points further back is Jim Richards, leading independent Cameron McLean 4th outright, with Mark Adderton just 8 points further adrift. In equal 6, Bob Tweedy and Peter Hills, Ron Searle 8th for Toyota, John Henderson 9th, and Schumacher and Holden a share of 10th. In the Independence Cup, Cameron McLean a narrow 5-point lead from the fast improving Mark Adderton. Equal third are Bob Tweedy and Peter Hills. Ron Searle is 5th, just 8 points further back. Trevor Schumacher and Bob Holden 6th. Paul Pickett 2 points further in arrears, with Henderson, Auger and Kaplan 8th, 9th and 10th. Audi lead the manufacturers' stakes, 12 clear of Volvo, but the tide might be turned at Phillip Island. And in the team's championship, Audi Sport Australia are 22 in front of Night Racing.
Another terrific day's action here at Oran Park, and I am just loving these pit stops.
Well, as you can see, the ante's really been lifted. Jim Richards and Cameron McConville coming in nose to tail, couldn't get any closer than that, and leaving the pits nearly the same. So everyone's up their game substantially, including privateers who are doing a great job out there. It's looking really nice.
Certainly is, not to mention, of course, an electrifying stop from Brad Jones, who's broken through for his first win of the championship. Let's hear what he had to say at the post-race press conference.
Unfortunately for me, this time we found the balance quickly with my car, so I was pretty happy with that, and really from Friday onwards, or from midday Friday, we haven't really played with my car too much, where Cam's been chasing his car trying to find a balance, so I was pretty happy with the car, and we just threw some new tyres at it and it's been running like a dream.